Sam Barber took on Oklahoma State, and team-wise, people look at scores, go, well, you scored more points than last year. But I thought overall you wrestled pretty well against the Cowboys.
Yeah, I thought so too. You know, they're a top 5 team in the country, right? So I think that part of it, I think if you did look at the individual matchups, you know, we improved. And I think that's a huge statement there. We improved. We improved since last year. We improved since last week. And that's kind of what we talked to our guys. Like, hey, all I'm looking for is I want you to improve. I want you to bring great effort. And I want you to show up and be grateful for the opportunity, right? And we're really trying to, you know, it's a big push this year, not to focus, you know, and we never try and focus on the results. It's always about the process, right? But like this year more so than ever, like it's so important that we just kind of try and be better than we were a week ago, be grateful for the opportunity, and go out there and compete as hard as we can for 7 minutes. But yeah, I think, you know, you got, you know, two solid wins by Jared Van Vliet and Lenny Peterson. You know, they showed up, and again, Lenny, huge improvement over a week ago, right? Got some things figured out in his nutrition, and he's a completely different wrestler, kind of back to the Lenny Peterson that we know. Jared, you know, Jared's on a roll. People are recognizing it, and he's wrestling super solid. And again, like we've talked about him so many times, it's the last 8 months of what he's put into this, and he continues to do it every day. So, you know, Cody Fippin's right there in a 1-point match. You know, I'm confident we're going to turn that one around by Big 12s. Parker Simonton's is a takedown away. Again, another one I think we're going to turn around. And Wyatt Hendrickson, you know, great opportunity for him to learn and grow. But that's 5 matches where I felt like, you know, we were for sure in the match. And the other 5 guys, they went out and they competed as hard as they could. They learned some things about themselves and where we got to be better. And we're going to be a better team this week for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Let's talk a little bit about the climate. I mean, a lot of the seniors, athletes on every team across the academy right now, you know, they learned their jobs, and sometimes they can get to a point in their Air Force career like, oh, I know what I'm doing now. Maybe I need to start putting sports behind me, and they can just virtually give up on a season. How do you stop that from happening with your athletes?
That's a tough question, you know, because I think it's one of the benefits, one of the great benefits. I mean, it's what we offer. We go out and pitch recruiting like, hey, you're going to know your job before you graduate, right? And so that part of it, for us, it's really hasn't been about addressing that specific thing. It's about building a culture of commitment, right? It's about saying, hey, this is a 48-month season. This is a four-year process the wrestling program is, right? And you're not done till you're done. And I think as you get a little bit, for me as a coach, and what the message I share with guys, like when you've gone through your competitive career, what you'll look back on, probably more than what you accomplished, is just the effort that you put into it, right? So I think that's what we try and tell these guys, like, hey, when you look back on this, you're not going to say like, you know, I should have achieved X or Y. It's going to be like, hey, I did everything I could to be the very best I could, right? And I was committed every day, every practice, for the entire 4 years. So we just kind of have that conversation a lot in our program, and you know, I get the sense that it's working. We try, you know, we make it a big deal for guys that stay in the program for 4 years. You know, they get a team coin that, you know, as a stamp on it that says 4-year wrestler, right? Like it's something that we talk about early on and often, that like this process, just like the Air Force Academy, it takes, you know, 48 months for you to develop into the officer character integrity, to be the best version of yourself through using the vehicle of wrestling, plus world-class academics, plus all the great leadership experiences we get here in the wing, right? It takes all of those things, all 3 of those things, and it takes 4 years to do it. Yeah. Right? Like that's what the complete product is supposed to look like.
As far as fans and alumni are concerned, I mean, we talked a little offline about maybe them staying engaged and how important it is for your wrestlers to hear that there are people out there that care about what they're doing, and they care about their effort.
Yeah, I think, again, we've talked about this before too, right? It's like we're just not going to be the program that's going to just outright say, hey, this COVID thing is hard. But you know, our mantra has been like, hey, we're not going to allow the circumstances to be bigger than our goals, our mission. And that's not bravado that we're going to beat a pandemic. It's a mindset and an attitude that we show up every day, and we're going to be grateful for the opportunity, and that we're going to find some way to make this day of our lives count, what I do today matters because I'm exchanging a day of my life for it, right? The pandemic, like that clock doesn't stop because we're in a pandemic, right? We have so many days that we can do these things, and that clock is ticking. So we have to make each day count. We have to make an effort to make each day a great day, either for ourselves or somebody else. So I think if you're outside of our program, and for any program, right? If you're a fan, a supporter of an college athletic program, you have to get engaged. You have to get support. There's never been a time where the programs need you more, right? And that's in every aspect. One of the we talked about, we will grow our program. Well, anything that grows our program, recruiting, fundraising, alumni involvement, all that stuff still has to happen, and it's challenging stuff to make happen in a pandemic, right? So we will wrestle. We wrestle pretty early. We've stayed wrestling. We haven't come off the mat, and now we're competing. So we shift our goals a little bit towards the postseason and pushing as far as we can there. But there's some great things going on in our program. We talked about the video last week that kind of talks about who we are, I think, who we're striving to be. The AFRTC's got some great initiatives going on right now, trying to grow that, and it impacts our program directly. So I would just encourage you, again, not just for our program, but for any program, especially here at the Air Force Academy, is that if any way, shape, or form that you can engage, get involved, support, show up, please do it, because there's never been a time where it's going to be more impactful than right now.
So this week, Wyoming, another ranked team. At Big 12, they're all ranked, right? But what do you want to see from your team this week?
I want to see us be better than we were last week, right? I want to see us be better than we were last week. I want us to go out there and I want us to wrestle free and open and let it fly, execute in the areas that were great. I want to see a hard-fought 7 minutes, all right, where we contest and compete for every point. And I want to see guys, and hard to express it, but I want to know in some way, shape, or form that they're grateful for the opportunity to do what they love to do here at the United States Air Force Academy, wearing that big Air Force on their chest, that flag on their back, pursuing their passion and something that's going to make a big influence in them, grow into the best version of themselves. So, got to be better than we were a week ago. We got to show up with our best effort. We got to control the things we can control. We're doing a pretty good job of that right now, and then we got to go out there and be grateful for the opportunity.
All right. Sam Barber, thanks. Good luck this weekend.
Appreciate it. Thanks.